What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm going to be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video guys, again I have several news, quite interesting news I would say. First of all, I will show you how despite the different opinions, people might argue their position in a very polite manner, and definitely it is a very good example. On top of that, I will show you some updates from Daniel's case, and I will show you an update from the field that for now is out of the litigation processes, and I have to admit that it might be also quite promising. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. So, let's start with this tweet that was written by Kostas just several hours ago. He wrote, "A crayon eater's rumbling submitted to a court doesn't make it true, especially when the clown's rumblings has been rejected few times. The only truth we need is the audited and certified MMTLP share count. Why doesn't all sides just work to get that, since it will prove who is ultimately right? Any overages need to be reconciled in the open market." And guys, let me remind you that we had several cases that were dismissed by judges where we asked for this share count, and none of these cases passed even the first step of these litigations. And partially it was the result of the unlimited, so-called unlimited immunity of authorities, but partially it was because of the lack of facts that prove that this share count is needed in our case. And let me show you what did Scott respond. By all means, show us what you could do better. I really think if you post one more meme, we can win this, because that's what heroes do. And Kostas responded, "Thanks, all engagement is good engage as per the X algorithms. MMTLP overages needs a market-based resolution." And guys, let me show you another quite interesting and I would say very wise question from Kostas. He wrote this, and just several hours ago, and he said, "Let's play an MMTLP game. Let's say the oil fields are worthless. Let's say the executives profited. Let's say they are paid actors. That doesn't excuse the FINRA UPC committee issuing a rare U3 halt due to settlement concerns and providing no answers to any party with how to resolve these settlement concerns and how to ultimately reconcile the oversold shares, not purchased liabilities that has been admitted Trace Station, FINRA, SEC, OTC markets and Next Bridge Hydrocarbons, and we know exist with Fidelity, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade and others. Any overages needs a market-based reconciliation. And it starts with the audited share count. And guys, it is very difficult to disagree with this statement, but at the same time, we know that if someone doesn't agree with certain actions that was performed by other community members, why don't you just do it yourself? Why don't you file a lawsuit? Why don't you hire a lawyer or any other actions that might lead to this result? And let me show you what did Scott respond. That's post number 56 reminding us we need a share count. Thank you. I was unaware. Your post would be stronger if you added 3 memes, cause you've been effective so far, you brute. And Kostas responded, "Thanks, I could post more clowny opinions, but the reality comes down to the audited MMTLP share counts to prove who is ultimately right. Why don't you ask for that, especially when you don't believe there is an overage? Oh, by the way, still waiting for answers why McCabe came back to save NBH when he was out and in the clear." And guys, I have to admit that Scott still didn't answer to this question, and I have to admit that the question is quite tricky by itself, because wait a second, I will show you this tweet. So Jimmy James Mendoza wrote in response to Kostas' tweet. He wrote, I might be missing something. What exactly has McCabe saved? We lost the lease and he's diluted our shares while he himself did cash out and made a profit. And at the same time has put some of our expenses on the books as loans we owe him on. So, and yes, we have a lot of actions that were made by Greg McCabe that has basically that raises a lot of questions to him. But at the same time, guys, let me show you another tweet that is extremely difficult to disagree with. In my yesterday's video, James Bond 4274 wrote this comment, and I will quote you it in details. Andy, ask yourself this. What's Scott Roth goals? He has 300 shares and he is attacking the company. For the effort put in, the payout for him doing this is not worth the time. If he's going for resolution with the maximum or fair payout, he'd be doing different. We are owed a market resolution or an equally fair payout. This guy is either a paid pawn or he has severe mental issues. He's super vocal about this. Ask him what's his goal. He rallied a lot of people, including me, with this distance of regulators. Yet his goal does not align with the resolution other than what he can get from the company. Open your eyes. There is a wrecking amount of money and stake here. This guy is a paid pawn to lower costs. And guys, I have to admit that yes, Scott has just 300 shares, and it is definitely economically extremely, let's say, costly procedure to cover all of his expenses, all of his legal expenses with the remedies for just 300 shares. But at the same time, guys, it is his opinion and his money, and he is free to do everything with his money, especially as long as he is a legitimate MMTLP shareholder. And you cannot argue that he was here even before the halt. I showed you in one of my previous videos that he made several tweets in regards to MMTLP case even before the U3 halt was implemented. And he's not the same person as, for example, James J. Angel is, because James J. Angel just bought couple of shares, literally, I think less than 10 shares directly from some of MMTLP shareholder right after the U3 halt. And because of this action, he was able to say that he's a legitimate shareholder, and he tried to so-called help the Congress to understand our case. But definitely these two cases are completely different, and yes, it is very difficult to assume that Scott is here for the remedies that will cover all of his expenses. If he wins this case, definitely his expenses will be covered. But what he will have on top of the remedies for 300 shares? I don't think the amount will be much higher than just, let's say, couple of meals in restaurant. But guys, let's forget about Scott. It is his money, and he is free to do anything with his basically with his property. But let me show you this. Again, let me quote you some tweets from Costa's Twitter account. And Scott responded to the tweet where Costas mentioned about MMTLP case and his tweets that have a lot of views and reactions. And Scott responded to this. Preaching to the chair for 700 days is not a winning plan. And Costas responded, all pressure is good pressure. I applaud you throwing everything at the court system to hopefully get something through and being public about it, about all of it. But I don't need to post everything I'm doing for social media credit. It just takes one thing to get through, to get more information we can use to get a resolution. Thanks for your impressions and MMTLP engagement. And guys, for now, their interaction, their conversation becomes even more polite. And let me show you Scott's response. We finally agree. Yes, the tactical is to throw everything at them. Thus far, I am the only case that was allowed to amend and not thrown out immediately. So I will run with it. And I have to admit that yes, for now we have just one case on the table that potentially might go through the first several obstacles on the way to resolution. But potentially we might have another one within just next several days, and in a couple of minutes I will show you what I'm talking about. So Costas responded to this. Here's to your amendment number 91, hopefully getting through. All MMTLP pressure is good pressure. You do you, boo. And yes, for now we have even the comment from Daniel. Everything has a PR department, but the posts are 1% of what I'm up to. I'm not looking to hold monetized spaces because I'm not unemployed or unemployable. And guys, yes, if you think Scott doesn't have enough shares to have a proper grounds under his litigation, your favorite SGM, Daniel, invested about $60,000 in TRCH back in the days, and for now he's stuck in this case as well, and his efforts might be very important for us, and you will not have any grounds to say that his position is not sufficient for the litigation. On top of that, guys, I have to admit that Daniel's questions for Greg McCabe is pretty much similar to the questions that were asked by Scott, again to Greg McCabe. And that is why, guys, we have basically two quite similar cases, and if Scott doesn't have enough grounds to perform this type of activity, Daniel has it. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Again, to the tweet that was written by Costas, Kurt Kluberg wrote this 12 hours ago. No one fight after 720 days. And Daniel wrote, I do, and I told the statute of limitations through SCRA. And yes, guys, your favorite SGM, Daniel, is an active duty. And that is why he can toll the statute of limitations. On top of that, guys, within the next couple of days, he will file a lawsuit, and I've already showed you a sneak peek of this lawsuit. You can find it on his pinned tweet. Here is the introduction in the lawsuit, and yes, he is active right now, and he wrote this 2 hours ago. You read it? Well, 12:09. Tomorrow is a busy day, and I think yes, for now he has a lot of work to do because he is preparing his lawsuit, and I think he is polishing some details. That is why, guys, within the next several days we will see this lawsuit, and definitely I will do an update on this case. But I want to show you another quite interesting news that is not related to these two lawsuits. And here it is. Junk Savvy wrote this tweet again literally several hours ago. And she wrote, Devin Nunes attached MMTLP's congressional open letter signed by 74 bipartisan representatives to his letter to 4 congressional committee chairs regarding naked shorting, FTDs, and market manipulation of DJT. Do you think that was by accident? Donald Trump knows. J.D. Vance knows. Kash Patel, director of FBI, knows. Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, knows. Elon Musk knows. Robert Kennedy Jr. knows. Linda McMahon knows. And guys, I have to admit that if you don't know what connections do we have with the MTG case, let me remind you about this letter that originally was written on April 23rd of 2024, and that was addressed to 4 chairmen of different US House committees. And right here you can see that there is an attachment to this letter, and this attachment is nothing else but the letter that was written on December 22nd of 2023 by the Ralph Norman's office, and that was signed by 74 members of Congress. And here you can see 16 questions that were and that is really important for the resolution of MMTLP case. And unfortunately, we didn't receive any answers because Pete Sessions and Ralph Norman, two major people who signed this letter, the very first lines, they switched their position because of the case of John Burda, George Palikers and MMAT and their potential pump and dump actions. And guys, I have to admit that this case of George Palikers, MMAT and John Burda also have a lot of grounds. And in my yesterday's video, wait a second, I showed you this article. It was written on May 15th of last year by Bronco, and the title of this article is following: The Anatomy of Shitco Energy Edition. Guys, you can Google this title and find this article on Substack. You can read it in its entirety and make your own conclusion. Who is the wrongdoer and what actions leads you to the investment in MMTLP and how the things was going on right before the U3 halt. So it is another debatable case, but in general, guys, we have to be very precise and very thorough in our due diligence, because previously the very first cases, let me remind you that it was a case of Rosa Towel. It was filed on December the 12th of 2022, literally 3 days after the U3 halt. And I have to admit that at that moment we didn't know a lot of information that we know for now. At the same time, guys, the justice will prevail. And if something was wrong with Greg McCabe, John Burda, or any other person who was the reason of the U3 halt and who was the reason of the damages that happened with the MMTLP shareholders, so be it. We will resolve it, and all of the wrongdoers have to be punished. And it doesn't matter what positions do they have or what positions did they occupy. That is why, guys, I think Scott is doing his job as he wants, because he is free to do anything with his own property and with his own money. At the same time, guys, if you want to see the resolution on any other way, just remember about the statute of limitations that will stop all the litigations right after December the 9th of this year. So we have literally 1 week left for the new lawsuit if the plaintiff is not an active duty member or wasn't an active duty member during these 2 years. Only in this case, and this case is quite similar to Daniel's case, you will be able to toll the statute of limitations, and you can do your own you can perform your own actions in order to see the resolution. But otherwise, guys, what else do we have to see the resolution? We don't have any substantial actions from the Congress. We don't have any substantial actions from the president's office. Definitely, we have some hope that it might go through the obstacles and it might help us to see the resolution. But at the same time, guys, if you disagree with someone's actions, someone's legitimate actions, just do your own. And it is as simple as that. And from my point of view, I will continue to make this type of videos in order to show you the latest update on this case.
And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught